Now, one of the most popular emails that we get on the program is along the lines of, "Dear Mark and Simon, I need your help. I remember watching this amazing, disturbing, troubling, rubbish film once. It had a penguin and a cigarette case, a 48 bus, which turns into a Victorian bedstead. And it had someone who looks like Vanessa Redgrave, but isn't Vanessa Redgrave. And they all go to Llandudno, I think, and have a Mars bar. But I can't find it anywhere. Can you help? WTF." So welcome one and all to our new genuine value feature, which is WTF, which of course stands for What's That Film? So we posted on Twitter last night asking if anyone was being driven to the edge of despair by their inability to remember a particular film that they once saw. And we've been inundated with responses. Yes. There are some things that social media just cannot help you with, various websites as well. Safe to say, Mark might not be able to answer your question, so here's how it's going to work. We'll select a few filmic pleas today, and if Mark can't help you out, the hive mind of the Witterati, which does sound like some kind of conspiracy theory, hopefully can. Email your suggestions. You could do a voice note or a written email or do something on Twitter. People are helping everyone else out on our Twitter feed already. Anyway, when we come back from the cruise, we should have some answers. If you manage to correctly identify a film for someone, you then become an official Wittertainment WTF monitor with all the privileges that comes with that esteemed position, whatever they might be. So, right, Mark, are you ready for this new great genuine value feature that we've got, WTF?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Thing is, I suspect that people would do this to you all the time because they know you're a film critic. Go, what's that? You know that?
What's the film with the bloke with the hat?
You know,
yeah, and he goes to France? Or maybe it isn't France. Maybe he stays at home. That's what usually happens.
Donald Shields says, a horror film with several sisters who kill their mother. She comes back and picks the sisters off one by one. It's a bit rubbish, but one creepy scene saw the heroine in the loft walking past old toys in the shadows. She passes a clown doll and its head turns as if to follow her. Can you help her with that one?
Yes, I can. In fact, I should nod my head to the great Kim Newman here, because this was on when this came in. I said to Kim, I'm thinking of all the sisters movies, and that's not. And Kim said that is House on Sorority Row, and the reason that we weren't getting there was because they're not sisters, they're sorority sisters, and it's the sorority mum that they kill. And the scene with the creepy doll is in that. That is House on Sorority Row, but that is a perfect example of somebody misremembering a movie, and that throws you off. So I was thinking, is it Tale of Two Sisters? Is it Perfect Sisters? No, it is House on Sorority Row. They're not sisters, they're sorority sisters.
Seshwari Mom on Twitter. Guys, I'm at a loss. James is trying to remember a film, but he has zero references except there's a scene where he goes back in time and kisses his wife. Not a single further speck of information. It's not Groundhog Day, About Time, or Time Traveler's Wife. It's from around the late 90s to the 2010s. Again, that's a pretty big window. And he cannot say one single actor that appears in it. I am crying. I mean, that's not a lot to go on.
There isn't. I mean, I was trying to figure this out. The only thing, I mean, are you confusing it with body swapping? Is it Prelude to a Kiss? Is it the Alec Baldwin, Meg Ryan Prelude to a Kiss, where it's the wedding thing and then there's the kiss and then there's the body swap and then that has to all get sorted out? Also, the plot sounded oddly like that TV movie from the 70s with Joan Collins called Quest for Love, but I don't think it's that because you say very specifically that it's 90s. The only thing that comes to mind is Prelude to a Kiss, but that's not time travel.
Okay.
It's it's spirit transference. So any help from Wittertainese, a guy goes back in time and kisses his wife, that's it.
Mayo at bbc.co.uk. Dominic Briggs, there's this movie from the 70s with the actress from the MASH television show where they're running from Satanists in an RV. It ends with a ring fire being lit around them and the Satanists win. WTF, says Dominic.
Yeah.
What's that film?
Well, had you been watching the Secrets of Cinema on cult movies, you would know that that's Race with the Devil, because we actually used a big sequence from Race with the Devil in Secrets of Cinema, and I went back to watch it whilst we were doing it, and it's bonkers. Yeah, it's Race with the Devil.
Ash says, this has eluded me for 20 years. Black and white indie film, 90s, I think, but could be late 80s, set in New York, and is about a man who bootlegs small gigs on cassette and sells them. I think someone gets stabbed. I watched it in film studies in 2001 and absolutely loved it. But WTF?
Yeah, and this is interesting because the film studies thing is, I'm pretty certain that that must be Rhythm Thief, which is 1994, and it was either a Sundance Prize winner or it didn't win the Sundance Prize, and there was some fuss about it. I remember reading stories about it. I don't think I've seen it, to be honest, but it has to be Rhythm Thief because there isn't anything else that even comes close to that plot. So I'm pretty certain that is Rhythm Thief. Look it up because I think I'm right that it was either a Sundance winner or it should have been a Sundance winner. But I'm sure that's what the film is.
Mayo at bbc.co.uk. Let's try one more. I do think WTF needs its own jingle, something for the production team, obviously, to be working on in our absence. Nick Donaldson. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I adore films of every decade. I really enjoy your program. I have a question. Perhaps 25, 30 years ago, a mad film was released with someone described as, quotes, the modern day LB. Capital letters.
What does that mean? What does that mean, the modern day LB?
It started with a man walking out of his apartment in New York City, I think, undergoing a mad range of events only to fall off a truck outside his apartment again 24 or 48 hours later, and life resumed as normal. I mean, WTF, what's that film?
I mean, you see, the only thing I can think of, and I'm sure that people are listening to this and screaming the right answer. The only thing that comes to mind is After Hours, but it doesn't happen obviously it happens after hours, because After Hours ends with him getting dumped off the truck outside his apartment at the end of it. But the plot synopsis doesn't really match up with what, the version that you've given. But then again, as the House on Sorority Row thing demonstrated, people do misremember the key detail. The only thing that I can think of is After Hours, and then I suppose around the same time as After Hours there was Into the Night. But again, those are both nighttime films, and the only reason I think After Hours is because it's the getting dumped off outside your house at the end of it. Or does he get dumped off in the office at the end? Yes, I'm sort of stumped again. Witterte needs help.
And of course there are already the jokesters and the pranksters, Mark. Oh, I'm sounding like Prime Minister. Who are saying there's a film where a guy dresses as a bat. What's that one? And so on. So we don't want any of that clever malarkey. But if you have something that's a genuine WTF candidate, either we can help or maybe the Witterati can help. Drop us an email, mayo@bbc.co.uk. If you can help with any of those that Mark hasn't answered, email us and we'll deal with that when we're back on the cruise.